From the author of Spinsterella, The Strange and Unusual Romance and Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black comes the legendary Magic Tilda. Pick up the conclusion to the Spinsterella trilogy in paperback and e-readers this Halloween. After I watched a report about Kenneth Gleason, the beta white male who decided to go out here and murder two black men down in Louisiana and decided to shoot up a family's home, I had to ask myself a tough question. What do these beta white males hope to accomplish by going out here and murdering black men? When I think about men like your James Harris Jackson and your Dylan Roof, I have to again ask the question, what do they hope to accomplish by going out here to murder black people? Because what purpose does it make to go out here and murder black people when you yourself are stuck in a dysfunctional situation? Because when I look at your Kenneth Gleason, who was nothing more than a drug addict, and I look at your guys like your James Harris Jackson and your Dylan Roof who come from poverty, I say to myself, how does killing black people improve the quality of your life? And this is the question that most beta white males don't ask, because most beta white males don't have any critical thinking skills, just like this Afro-American Negro from this single mother household doesn't have any critical thinking skills. Because if they had some critical thinking skills, they would realize that going out here to attack somebody else does not improve the quality of your life, because the only person who can improve the quality of your life is you. And when it comes down to guys like your Kenneth Gleason, your James Harris Jackson, and your Dylan Roof, they never take a long, hard look in the mirror at the individual who is causing them to be in the situation that they're in. Instead of sitting there blaming black people for all their problems and then going out here to participate in violence against black people, you would think these individuals would be going out here trying to make America great again, like their idol Donald Trump, and do that by starting businesses or working on some sort of enterprise towards taking themselves to the next level, such as going to school or learning some sort of skill or trade. Those are the things that people use to build themselves up. But because these guys are beta males, they don't know how to build for themselves. They only live to build for others, and they only live to submit to others. That's the big problem with your beta male. Your beta male is always looking out on the outside at someone else, but never taking that look within and never making a time to do some self-reflection or some self-examination. No, when it comes down to your beta male, everything is always somebody else's fault, and they never believe they have to take any sort of responsibility for their situation in life or their station in life, or make efforts to go out here and improve their situation. When it comes down to these beta males, it's always somebody else's fault, and when it comes down to these white beta males, they're always looking for somebody black or somebody minority to blame for their problems, and then they go out here and plan acts of violence when they could have taken that same time to go out here and make plans to go out and build a business. But they don't want to do that because building a business is hard work, and you can't get social currency from building a business or an enterprise, because building a business and an enterprise means that you're doing something for yourself, and the beta male only does things to get attention from others. This is why your beta male will go out here and participate in an act of violence, just like your Kenneth Gleason and your James Harris Jackson and your Dylan Roof, because they want to get social currency with other white supremacists, not understanding that social currency has absolutely no value. What value does Dylan Roof get when he's sitting doing life in prison, getting beaten up by people for killing all those black people at that church? That's a question that your Dylan Roof isn't going to ask, because he has no critical thinking skills. He's thinking that because he's getting some brownie points from some white supremacists, and white supremacists are talking about him, that he's actually accomplished something. And it shows how pathetic he is, and how pathetic guys like Dylan Roof, James Harris Jackson, and Kenneth Gleason truly are, because these guys are looking for social currency with white supremacists, and meanwhile, white supremacists like your Donald Trump are sitting out here getting rich at their expense as they promote the ideology of making America great again, but then doing nothing for many of these white males who are going out here to support him. When it comes down to many of these white males, they don't understand that these rich guys could care less about how many black people you kill, because it doesn't really matter to them, because they're focused on how much money they're going to make when they're in offices in Washington and making those backdoor business deals with all these different entities. They could care less about how many black people you kill or how many Mexicans you kill. All they know is they've gotten what they want out of one of these beta males. And when it comes down to the beta males, the wealthy whites use them as a tool to move themselves ahead. Just like your Donald Trump used most of these beta white males and many of these white females to move himself ahead at their expense. And the sad part is, when it comes down to these beta white males, they're always behind the 8 ball, but they're always talking about how black people are always destroying their country, when they themselves are their own worst enemy and oftentimes work against themselves and don't see how they put themselves in situations that wind up destroying them. Now, when I look at your guys like your Kenneth Gleason, your James Harris Jackson, your Dylan Roof, who are sitting in prison right now, what did they hope to accomplish by killing these black people? And how did that help them in any way, shape, or form? I mean, that black person you murdered is now dead, and you're sitting in prison for the rest of your life. No different than many of these Afro-American Negroes out here who are emotional and melodramatic and act on impulse and kill someone because they are looking at their girlfriend. Well, most of those guys in those situations, they usually, one is dead, the other is in prison, and the woman is back out here with another guy 2 or 3 weeks later after writing him a Dear John letter, after sending him $50 in to put on his books for his commissary, and then moving on to the next guy. And because these betas have no critical thinking skills, they can't see the big picture regarding things. All they see is what they see right in front of them, and what they see right in front of them is what they want. And because they see what they want, they run out to go get it, not thinking about the consequences or the ramifications of their actions, or how their actions will not only affect them, but how they affect other people. These beta males, they are so single-minded and narrow-minded, they never think about anything, and because they don't think about anything, they wind up doing damage to society overall. I always said that the people who would destroy America aren't going to be, black people. It's going to be these beta white males and these white feminists, because when it comes down to American society, the people who don't think rationally and think critically are these beta white males and these white feminists. And when it comes down to this beta white male, they're always feeling instead of thinking, and they act on impulse, thinking about getting social currency instead of doing things that are more constructive, like building business, building enterprise, and building wealth, the things that really would make America great again. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct titles, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.